What's up, guys? So today we have something in the shop that is a little odd. I haven't seen one done yet in person, so it's going to be pretty interesting. Shouldn't be too bad to do, but it's definitely going to be different. This is what we're going to be working on for the next few weeks. A lot of people haven't worked on a hearse before, so this is kind of new to me, trying to figure out how to get this out so I can see what's below it to start building the hydraulic rack in here. So I got everything out and it still didn't want to come out. Those are just into the wood. Actually, I got to take those out too. So it has a skin, a little, I forgot what these are called, but anyways, it has a skin, and then from there there's some screws. So I gotta very carefully peel this up without cracking it or breaking it, because I really don't want to build another one. So I'm gonna work on getting this out, and then I can get these pieces of wood out, and then I can see what I'm working with from there. Managed to get the vinyl wood out in one piece. Now I'm gonna go through and grab my drill and start unscrewing all these screws. Just have them all over the place. It's just scattered out, so once I get those unscrewed, I'll be able to see what's underneath. If anyone was wondering what it looked like inside of a hearse underneath all that wood and stuff, this is what it looks like. So it looks like they just have some beams welded to the floor, which I'm going to go through the floor into the trunk, and that's where I'm going to mount the post for the battery rack and all that. So that's what it looks like. It had a big piece of wood in there, and then on top of that it had that, I don't know what it's called, that vinyl wood or whatever you want to call it, but it was glued down to that. So got that out, and I started taking my measurements, cutting the holes in the floor, and then start building the rack. So now I'm just looking through the trunk, looking to see where the frame rails are, and then I'm going to cut through the floor pans right there, weld in some posts coming up. It's going to be around right there, back here, over here, and I have to figure out something with that. I got a few of the hose cut out already on the sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 3 posts in, and then the 4th post is going to be over there, but it's probably going to go straight to the floor. I'm going to put a plate and weld that plate into the floor and have it come up because of this filler neck. So the filler neck from the gas tank goes through, and they have a fiberglass panel, I guess, to keep the fumes down, and then to the tank below the car. So that's where I need to put the post. but I can't move it forward because by the wheel well. I can't move it back where it needs to be because of the filler neck, and gonna have a hard time drilling and cutting the holes with the chassis box right there. So I just determined I'm going to add a post somewhere around right there and weld it into the floor. It should be plenty strong. I mean, it's just a lay in place setup, 4 batteries, so it shouldn't be going anywhere, especially with the welded to the floor. So I just got done welding in the first part of the battery rack. So what I'm gonna do is, since I have to put those pieces in and they come right around there, I can't just go directly out the frame to get the height I need. So it's pretty much going to be like a double layer rack. So this is the first rack. It's all secured to the frame, nice and strong. So from here I'm going to build post coming up right there, and then build my second battery rack to the height I need and through those pieces of wood and the floor, or the wood floor anyways. So this coming along good. The welds look good. It's nice and strong, nice and sturdy. It ain't going nowhere. Little update for you guys. So I threw the piece of wood back in and the fenders just to kind of give me a rough mock-up on how I'm gonna do the setup. I played around with the batteries, I moved them around, but I think this is the cleanest overall look. I just got to make sure that the hydraulic cylinders, when they poke through right there and right there, just got to make sure those clear. And if those clear, I think this is the method I'm gonna go. I went to test fit the wheels and they are not gonna fit. So the tire is gonna hit the fender and we ain't even put the skirts on yet. Gonna have to change that up. Sucks, but we'll figure something out. So since those didn't fit, we slapped a 13 on here again just to see what the difference is, and it definitely clears. So probably gonna go with the 13, but we'll see. Might have to sell those. So if you know anybody that wants those, they're for sale. So got everything kind of put back in. We cut these out to have them slide in so we can install it after I weld everything up. He's going to take it to the upholstery shop next week. Hopefully I can get those back pretty quick, and just test fitted everything. Everything's fitting pretty good, looks pretty good. So I'm going to weld these on right here for the solenoid plates that I just cut out, and take this rack over there to Good Vibe Customs and have them powder coat the rack. We're probably going to do like a dark blue on it, so should be pretty good. Moving along pretty quick actually on this build, a lot quicker. So here's what the rack looks like outside of the car. Came out pretty good as always. Welded my tag on there, of course. So tomorrow I'm gonna work on going to Home Depot and buying some stuff for the batteries to mount them, and then I will make the battery tie downs, which are gonna be probably in the shape of a casket, and it's gonna hold the batteries down. It's gonna be pretty cool. I'm thinking about putting something right here. It's kind of like there's a lot of dead space here, so when I had it in the car, it just kind of looked, there's a lot of open space. So I'm thinking about making like a plate, maybe a Grim Reaper or something right here. I think that would look pretty good, but we'll see what I feel like doing tomorrow. But for now, this is what it's looking like. It's coming out pretty good. Pretty happy with it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. What's up, guys? So today we are going to be installing the hydraulic cylinders. So I'm going to cut through the trunk and I'm going to cut through the frame on the front, and we should see this thing laid out today. Also, should be picking up the battery rack from Powder Coat. He has that done. Hopefully I can go pick it up today and get that welded and installed. So check this out, guys. That's the factory spring, and that's the spring that's going in it. It's like half the size. So this thing is going to be dirt nasty low, but that's all right. We like it low around here. I welded the power balls onto the 3/16 plate, and then this is going to get welded to the axle. So I got this power ball welded in, and the hole for the cylinder is already cut. So I'm gonna let that cool down, add some more grease in it, and slap the cylinder in, and we'll see how low this thing gets. So check it out, guys. Got the power balls welded to the axle, cylinder, and spring and cup in place. So this side is done. We got the hydraulic cylinders and spring on, and that's about how it's sitting. So it's pretty close to factory ride height, surprisingly, even though the spring's about half the size. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the springs back off, and I'm probably gonna cut probably a full coil off. So I know most people say do quarter to half a coil at a time, but this is just way too high. Cut exactly one coil off, and I think that is just right. It's still not super low. You can still drive it if he lets it all the way down. The 13.7s, they do clear. I do have clearance underneath the skirts. The 13s are gonna work. I'm supposed to go get some later this week. Found a local tire shop to pretty much just trade us, since they're brand new. So they're gonna trade us for some 13s and probably buy some tires from them, and then we'll be able to slap them on all four corners. Just got the rack back from Good Vibes Customs powder coating. Came out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. Customer wanted to do a darker blue on it. I mean, it definitely has a lot of contrast with the casket, so it's gonna look pretty good in there. Just put the rack in, about to weld it right now. Got both of these cylinders installed. Those are ready to go, ready to run the lines to them, and then those will be working. But for now, I'm going to weld these in, and then just start on the front, and then wait on the piece of wood that's getting carpeted, and then install everything in. So while I have everything kind of thrown in here, set up, I always like to do this just to kind of look at it, make sure everything does fit again, and then from here I can measure how much wiring I need and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and start wiring the solenoids up. Tomorrow I'm gonna go buy the wiring to wire up the batteries to the motors and all that, and then I'll probably wire up the solenoids tonight and get all the dumps and hoses plumbed up and Tefloned up, so they'll be pretty much ready to go once. My battery cables and lugs. Gonna cut these linked, crimp them, and put the heat shrink on. Just got everything test fitted in, got all the battery cables made and wired in. So now have to plumb the dumps to the cylinders in the rear, cut 2 more holes, and run the hoses to the front. Now the hoses I have, they're around here somewhere, but the kit that they come with, you know, it's obviously for cars, so the hoses aren't going to be long enough. So I'm gonna run over to Midwest Hose real quick and get some extensions made so I can run them from the back all the way to the front. Since this thing is so long, I'm gonna have to do that, but it's no big deal. I gotta get a couple fittings also, like this one right here. Probably gonna kick it out to a 90 just because that battery cable's right there. Probably get another 90, kind of bring it to the side and then back. That way I can run it to a cylinder without having a hose looping over there. So gonna take some measurements and run over there to Midwest Hose and get those made. I'll probably also get this one shortened because it just needs to go right there into here, so it's gonna have like a big loop. So I'll probably get that shortened too and put a new end on it. That way it's not looking like that, because that don't look right. So about to head over there to the store. Going to start on the front now. Gotta take the front suspension out, cut the hole for the cylinder, and start plumbing for the hoses to the back. So got the front suspension all out, taken apart. Gotta cut this end link off. It's pretty rusted and seized on there. Take the sway bar off and start cutting the holes for the cylinders in there. So I'm about to crawl underneath there right now and cut that out so I can slap these bad boys in. 'Cause front done, so cylinders in, springs in, good to go on this side. On to the next. Now I did figure this was gonna happen, but I wanted to see what it looked like before I decided to cut it. So not sure if you can tell, but right here it's hitting on the control arm, so I'm gonna notch that out here in a sec. Should give us all the clearance we need. And put the fitting in there, run the hose. %, wired, ready to go. Got the switches right there. Added a little junction box. I don't know if you can see it right there or not, but there's a junction box for the switches to disconnect them pretty easy when and if he ever has to maintenance it and take the pumps out, and it's a lot cleaner. And got the tie downs made. Now this was the first one I made. I went through the program and made the top a little wider to kind of get it away from that battery terminal. It's a little close, but the next one I cut out is going to be wider to compensate for that. Just got back from the tire shop. They finally got their tires in, so swapped out the 14s for some 13s. They didn't want the tires, so I kept the tires and just bought tires from them. So now I'll be able to slap these bad boys on and actually see how it's going to fit and look. And another thing I have to do is barely trim this stud right here. And the reason why is actually the whole reason why we went 14s instead of 13s originally, because the 13s did not clear the caliper. And I know some people grind on the caliper to get clearance, but we would have to grind a lot. So I was like, well, we'll just run some bolt-on adapters. We got the smallest adapters we could possibly get to clear, and it just hits barely. So when you put the other adapter on, there's about a 1/8 inch gap, so this isn't sitting all the way flush. So what I'm gonna do now is just barely take any thread off. So if anybody's building a Hearse Lowrider, you're probably gonna have to do this, either that or run 14s, but the 14s probably aren't gonna clear the rears. Gonna get those trimmed up, notch the control arm out, add fluid, and that should be everything. And then I can test it out. Got it on all 4 wire wheels, setup's done, wired up, everything works as it should. Came out pretty dope. pretty happy with it. Like I said before, here's a little walk around.